Just recently, NVIDIA shook up the gaming world as they finally brought their streaming platform, GeForce NOW, out of its years-long beta state. And as it came out of that and we saw the news start coming around that we could get our hands on it and start using it, we started testing it on everything we could. Obviously, we started with the Chromebook first, and we're going to talk through kind of the different phases we've gone through of testing it. But what we wanted to show you all today is the fact that you can run GeForce NOW, run the games that you already own, despite whatever hardware it is that you have in front of you. And it doesn't take some high-end tablet or some really nice Windows PC or some spec'd out MacBook Pro. You can do it on really cheap hardware, and mouse and keyboard and controller input all work, and we just kind of want to show it to you because it's really impressive. Today's video is brought to you by Hostinger. They provide web hosting that's not only easy to set up, but easy to manage and maintain as well. Even better, their prices are nearly impossible to beat, with hosting plans starting as low as 80 cents per month. We use their simple and intuitive H panel to get a new site up and running with their 6-step WordPress install, and love the access to the 24/7 365 support for the few questions and issues we had along the way. Even more exciting is Hostinger's cloud hosting that leverages Google Cloud Platform. With this service, users will get all the benefits of Hostinger's simple and intuitive H panel combined with the power, scale, and flexibility of Google Cloud on the back end. No need for professional setup, no need to hire a developer, it all just works. If you'd like to learn more about how to supercharge your hosting experience and, in all likelihood, save some money, go to hostinger.com/ChromeUnboxed to get started and use the promo code ChromeUnboxed to receive 91% off yearly web hosting plans. Not surprisingly for us, we fired up a Chromebook and went and looked for the application in the Play Store, and we're kind of let down by the fact that it's technically not supported on Chromebooks right now. So if you go to the Play Store and look for GeForce NOW, you're just not going to find it. And if you find a link to go to the place where you should be able to download it and you do end up finding that listing, it's not going to allow you to download it. But that didn't stop us. We went and put our Pixelbook Go into developer mode. We sideloaded the APK and got the whole thing up and running. Kind of excited there for a few seconds until we figured out about 60 to 90 seconds into any game, the thing will freeze up. It just doesn't work anymore. So for right now, Chromebooks are kind of out. That's not to say you're not going to be able to play this on a Chromebook. NVIDIA has come out and even said their web player will launch later in 2020, and they specifically said that that's how Chromebooks will go about using this service. And as long as their web player works the way we would expect it to, and kind of as good as Stadia's web player works, then that should be fine and that'll be great. But for right now, Chromebooks are kind of officially off the table. Our next logical step was to try an Android device. So I whipped out my phone, installed the app, and had it up and running really quickly, and everything works exactly like you'd expect. Now, this isn't the exact same process as what you would see with something like Stadia. Stadia is its own platform. You buy games that work on Stadia, and when you have Stadia in front of you, you pick up the game, you hit play, and you go. The GeForce NOW interface is a little bit different, and honestly it's a little bit clunky because really what they're trying to do is go about this whole thing in a different way and allow you to play games from your Epic Game Store or Steam or Battle.net or Uplay. All of those accounts will work with your existing GeForce NOW account. You just have to log in and use those particular gaming accounts, and you can play games that you already own and already have access to on those services. All that aside, once I got logged in and had a game up and running, I got Fortnite up and running immediately. It ran really smooth, nice high frame rates, everything looked good, and the latency was really nice. Now there's an on-screen controller for your phone, and I don't recommend using it, it's not great. But the minute I took my Stadia controller and plugged a USB Type-C in, it recognized it. I was able to play immediately. No new setup, no hoops to jump through. Everything just worked the way you would expect it to. And I also then hooked up a mouse and keyboard via, a USB dongle right in the side of the phone. And surprisingly, it just switched right over and everything started working there too. And again, latency and input was pretty amazing, to be honest with you. I expected there to be some hiccups here and there, and it honestly was just as good as playing anything in Stadia. What's special about that is when you talk about Android and mouse input, the mouse kind of hovers over top of the Android interface. It doesn't feel like it's a native part of it. And if you've ever hooked up a mouse to an Android device, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I wasn't exactly sure how a mouse and keyboard would work with GeForce NOW on an Android device. And I was just so surprised at how fluid and how smooth it works. As soon as the game loads, the mouse cursor, the Android mouse cursor disappears, and you now control the mouse cursor on that cloud server that's hosting whatever game it is you're playing. The whole setup was super easy and way simpler than I expected to be, and so compliments to NVIDIA for figuring out how to make Android mouse and keyboard input just feel so native. The next step from there was to try this out on a handful of Android tablets. I mean, would it take something with a nice processor in it, or could we get something cheap? And so, well, we tried both with Samsung's Galaxy Tab S5e, which is kind of a mid-range tablet, like a $400 tablet that has a similar processor to the Pixel 3a. Then we also have a Lenovo tablet that I don't even know. It's so old I'm not even sure what the actual model is on it. It is not fast. It can barely even play PUBG Mobile. So if that gives you an idea of its processing power, it is not something that is just blowing it out of the park. And we put NVIDIA GeForce NOW on both of them, hook keyboards, hook joysticks up to them, all that kind of stuff. Same thing I did with my phone. And it ran perfectly on both of them too. And so it was really interesting to watch a tablet that couldn't run a mobile version of PUBG load up GeForce NOW and run Apex Legends and run Fortnite in this nice crisp detail with no input lag, with no problems whatsoever. I mean, it changes the way that you look at going about getting your games, and it changes the things you think about the hardware you would need to run these types of games. To be sure that the experience couldn't be heightened on some better equipment or a better operating system, we actually installed GeForce NOW on our kind of resident Windows machine. Yes, we have to test things on Windows from time to time, and especially now that Edge has moved into being a Chromium-based browser, we keep a Windows device around. And so we threw GeForce NOW on our Surface Go. This is a Pentium Gold with 8 gigs of RAM. It's nothing special. Again, this is not some monster Windows PC. This is kind of as entry level as you can get. And once again, no surprises here. Everything just works. It's fast, it's fluid, and once you're connected, you can run pretty much any game that you would like. Finally, we just went ahead and installed it on our MacBook as well. And yeah, this is a pretty high-end MacBook Pro. But again, we wanted to find out if there's any benefits really to using or leveraging bigger hardware here. And truth is, no, it's pretty much the exact same experience across the board. So whether you're talking about a $2,000 MacBook or like a $100 Android tablet, as long as you can get GeForce NOW installed and running, you can play these games at the same level, with the same graphics and the same frame rates, regardless of what hardware you have in front of you. And that's something pretty special. As we're waiting for Stadia to get more games and more people showing up to play, and as we're waiting for it to be available on more Android devices, this new service from NVIDIA has shown up at a very interesting time when gamers are starting to really consider cloud gaming as something that they might do. And again, professional gamers, probably not. But people like me that play very casual games, this is something that's insanely intriguing to me, and being able to take the library of Steam games that I already own and play quite a few of them via GeForce NOW, it's very intriguing. And as much as I love Stadia and I love the experience and the way Stadia works and the cleanliness of all of it, until the games that I want to play are there, GeForce NOW is just the way that I'm going to go. And I'm excited to tell you all that you don't have to go buy any special stuff. You can probably use something you have laying around right now. Just install the app and plug your peripherals in, download your games, and start playing. But guys, that's it for this one. If you liked the video, go down there and hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell as well if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. And oh yeah, there's a join button down there as well. If you'll click that, you'll see all the perks that our members get, like custom emojis and access to all kinds of behind the scenes footage. Until next time, we'll see you.